We're in conversation with Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw, who holds three crucial portfolios, METI, Rail and MIB. He's joining us on the promenade here at Davos on the sidelines of the annual meeting of the World Economic Forum. Thank you very much, sir, for talking to Money Control. Always a pleasure. You've led the India delegation this time. Take us through your experience, through your meetings. What's the perception about India?
India is definitely, there's so much confidence about the way India has grown in the last many years, the way it has emerged as a trusted partner, the way the talent of India is today recognized. We have done some things, certain things which are very different from the previous WEFs. This time we have had a very integrated India pavilion. Our Prime Minister gave us a very clear mandate that all the state pavilions should be integrated within the India pavilion. So that was one important innovation we did. And many of the meetings we tried to synchronize between the states and the central government ministers, so that whatever the investors or other participants have any thoughts about what the central government's stand would be, what the state government's stand would be, that can be covered in the same meeting. So many such things happen. There is a lot of interest in understanding how Prime Minister Modi ji's economic thinking is. So that has also been a good kind of conversation throughout the sessions here. People like to understand, people like to know how very different from the Western world, how Prime Minister Modi ji steered our economy out of COVID and how he created a sustained growth path. Right. So all that has been kind of gaining a lot of traction.
Right. So, one nation, two pavilions, as we've been saying.
Actually, the pavilion is one because Davos Promenade doesn't have many big buildings. Right. That's why we took two locations.
Right. Sir, also wanted to understand, this has been a very significant week. All eyes were on Washington because of Trump's second presidency. He's, signed on a whole bunch of executive orders. And there is worry that we are entering a phase of deglobalization, a phase of tariffs. What will this mean for India? Because some people believe that it could be advantage India because we're a neutral democracy. But how do you perceive this? How does India perceive Trump 2.0?
See, if you look at India-U.S. relationships, the biggest factor in our relationship is the factor of trust. The trust which has got developed because of our Prime Minister's economic thinking and his foreign policy. That trust is today a very big factor. The talent that we have is the second big factor. US today looks at India as a trusted partner in a world which is very uncertain, which is full of geopolitical issues. In that world, when India is seen as a trusted partner, I think the relationship going forward which is built upon this trust will be win-win for both.
Right. In terms of the focus for India, sir, right now there is this, if you look at the US, they have unveiled something called Project Stargate, which will involve $500 billion of investments in AI infrastructure. And this is, three big tech companies coming together, OpenAI, Oracle and SoftBank. Should India think of something similar, something ambitious in terms of a sovereign wealth fund for AI infra? Because it's clearly going to guzzle a lot of money, a lot of capital.
Yes, we are taking the first steps as a part of the AI mission. But I would like you to understand how the AI world is transforming, how it is changing. See, today models are becoming commoditized, right? Somebody met me here, he said that we invested $2 billion in creating a model which was relevant only for 7 days. So that is the kind of statement somebody made here in one of the round tables. So what will actually bring value is how the models are used for solving problems of enterprises, problems of governments, problems of individuals, right? That is where the real value will be. And the way our country took leadership in IT, time has come when we should be taking leadership in AI services. Like IT services, we should have leadership in AI services. I think that is going to be a big game changer, and we are putting huge emphasis on developing talent for the AI world. As you know, in telecom, we set up 5G labs in 100 universities. In semiconductor, we have set up EDA tools and chip design capabilities in 240 universities. Same approach we are going to follow in AI mission. 200 universities will give them the latest access to the compute power, access to the world's best models, so that they can really come out with good focused solutions which can then be deployed in India for the world as a service and as a solution provider for the country.
Right. But, sir, don't you think India investing in a foundational model will give a geopolitical advantage? For instance, look at what China is doing with DeepSeek. Should we not come in at the foundational layer?
We will be doing that. So the layers are AI chip, the model, the applications, the agents which come over it, right? So we are working on getting the GPU designed with our IP rights owned by us, by our country in the next 3 to 5 years, our own foundation model. But the major focus will be on the solution space.
Right. So how much of an investment do you think outside of the India AI mission will this require, sir?
We are working with the industry for this.
Can we expect an outlay in the upcoming budget?
No, it will take some more time to understand the entire landscape. We are very closely working with the industry participants, and once those calculations and the base papers are ready, those action plans are ready, then we'll discuss the investment with the media, of course.
Right. Sir, also, back home, you recently unveiled the DPDP rules. In your interaction with American tech companies, other big tech companies, have they said anything on the DPDP rules? How are they reacting to it?
See, the DPDP Act was drafted after deep consultations, very wide consultations with the industry. And the consultations had actually been on for almost more than 2 years. And it was really extensive consultations. So the industry is very well prepared for, and in fact, they are very happy with the Act and the rules. And the rules are within the ambit of the Act, right? There's nothing which is outside the Act which was passed by the Parliament. So it's not something which the industry was kind of taken by surprise or something. They are very well aware. There are questions. There was a little bit of clarity that people wanted about cross-border data transfer, which I think we have already clarified that our approach is free transfer with trust, and wherever a particular use case, very limited, very narrowly defined, requires some restrictions to be put in place. For example, financial services data is already having a restriction imposed by the Reserve Bank of India, correct? And that has been there since, I think, 2018 or something, for quite many years now. So that kind of approach, and that should also be done in a very systematic manner. That's why we decided to have this committee mechanism where if any sector wants to impose some restrictions, let the proposals be made, let there be consultations with the industry, with all the stakeholders, then we decide what kind of restriction to impose. So that clarity has already gone out. And I think beyond that, there's nothing much that we are hearing from the industry. Child data protection has been really appreciated because
it's been widely welcome.
It is widely welcome, and the approach is also very welcome because we in India have a very strong digital architecture. So using that digital architecture, can we develop a virtual token-based verification system, which is very different from many other geographies, without taking any name, where they have put a kind of hard barrier, age 16 kind of thing. So I don't think we can, in this world of technology, we should be having that kind of approach. Our approach has to be more flexible and more techno-legal based.
Right. When can we expect the Made in India chip to roll out? There was buzz of a chip jointly being developed by NVIDIA and India. So can you give us an update on that?
So if your question is when the first Made in India chip will be rolled out, 2025 is the answer. The construction work on all the 5 units is going very well. 2 of them are in advanced stage where the equipment are getting installed now. And during the semiconductor roundtable here in Davos, it was amazing response. I can see the transition which has happened in 2022 when we first announced the semiconductor program. It was like, oh, okay. And now it is like, tell us what you want us to do. We are running, but you guys are faster than us. So we are pushing our teams to be as fast as you guys are. So it's very different approach, and people are very confident about the way we have executed the semiconductor mission. And it's very satisfying that our Prime Minister has achieved what many other Prime Ministers could not do, because this was a dream since 1962, right? So Prime Minister Nehru tried, Prime Minister Mrs. Gandhi tried, Prime Minister Shri Rajiv Gandhi tried, Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh tried. And we are lucky that we have a leadership which is so clearly focused on achieving this very important foundational technology to be set up in India. Yeah.
Right. Last 5 minutes, sir. Any update on the component PLI?
We are working very closely with the industry, and the scheme that we are preparing is very comprehensive. And as you know, this is a world where we have to focus on having an export-led growth. We cannot just look at the demand for within our country. We have to look at the global demand, and with that approach, we intend to take some very significant steps in component. It won't be a PLI the way it is structured earlier. It would be a very comprehensive approach. Wait for a few more weeks. Yeah.
Okay. So the Indian Railways will likely see a record gross budgetary support in the upcoming budget. What's the biggest priority spending area going to be for Indian Railways in the next fiscal year?
Safety has been the most important priority over the last 10 years. In fact, last year our capex for safety was about 1,08,000 crore, and that is going to continue. And expansion is the second big item on this. Third big item is modernization and getting the technologies. Here I spent a full day with the Swiss Railway, understanding their maintenance practices, real hardcore maintenance practices, where how the tracks are maintained, what kind of frequency with which they replace the tracks, all kind of stuff, very deep technical stuff, and a lot of things to learn. And we will be taking all these learnings back home and implement many of them in our system.
From the Swiss Railway. Nice.
Swiss, with Japanese, with French also, we plan to have major strategic tie-up. With German Railway also, we plan to have a major strategic tie-up. With Japan, of course, we have. So it's good. I think it's a lot of learning, a lot of improvement, a lot of modernization, and meeting people's expectations in a very significant way. And train sets, all the 4 different types of trains, Vande Bharat chair car, which you must have used, I hope.
Yeah,
Vande Bharat.
My kids love
They love it, yeah. And in fact, somebody was telling me that it was a Indian origin CEO who had gone to US like 20-25 years ago. He recently visited his parents and other relatives, and his children wanted that, no, they should travel by Vande Bharat only. So it was very good. So it was nice. So that is the Vande Bharat sleeper is also now fully tested. It has done its oscillation tests. Very soon we should start rolling it out. Namo Bharat train, the first one doing very well. Second one we are likely to launch very soon. And as you have seen, we are continuously improving. Version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4. So keep improving. And Amrit Bharat train, I hope you would have seen the pictures on social media.
Right.
The general coach, the furniture of that, the furnishing of that, the facilities in that, phenomenal upgradation since the past. So it's very good, very satisfying.
Right. Finally, sir, with the 3 important ministries, there's been this whole debate in corporate India about 70-hour work week versus 90-hour work week. What is your work week like? Tell us how many hours.
We all work very hard. Our Prime Minister works 18 hours a day, so I think we need to. But of course, it should be a personal choice. I don't want to comment on others' work hours.
Great.
Yeah.
On that note, thank you very much, sir, for talking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.